Hi YouTube, long time coming. Anyway, I know it's been what, 6 months? Yeah, I'm sorry. Anyway, not to waste your time, just like I promised, I have a live demo about the progress bar. So, again, this is the file, nice and simple. I'm running this on localhost because we need a web server for a tutorial. Okay, so here are the files. Let's reload. There are no files. Okay, so if we go back to a file and upload a file, so let's pick a large file. Now, the reason why I'm picking a large file, that's the only logical example. If I were to pick a smaller file, well, it's going to upload really quick and it's not going to make any sense because this is running locally. Now, if you were running this remotely, then that'll be a different story. Okay, so let's pick a large file. Click open. You noticed, let me go back again. You notice this is a 123 meg file. So it's a pretty large file. So if we click open and then click upload file, notice how it's going, and then it disappears and it tells you upload successful. Okay, you guys don't believe me? Let's go back. Let's go back to here. And if we reload, let's reload it. Boom. Here's the file that we just uploaded. Remember, it's 100. Remember, it was 123 megs. All right, let's go back. Let's upload a larger one again. This one is 732 megs. As you know, it's going to be slower, especially if you have a slow bandwidth, if you don't have that much bandwidth. Okay, so let's pick this. Open, upload file, and notice it going. If you notice, this is much slower because, well, it's a large file. Here, the reason why there's a break, because it's a large, it's trying to write as fast as it's getting the information. So this is typical. Okay, good. So now let's go back, reload. We reload, you see we got our file 732, just like I said. Okay, nice, huh? Cool. Alright, let's look at the, well, before we look at the code, let's do some theory. Alright, just to explain the file upload process. There are two things involved, a browser and the server. Okay? Alright, so whenever the browser sends a file to the server, there are two places one can measure the progress. You can measure the progress at the browser level, or you can measure the progress at the server level. Now, you might ask, which is more accurate? Actually, at the server level, because, well, that's the recipient of the file. So if the server was reading the file while it's receiving it, that's more accurate than the browser sending it while you're reading at the browser level. Now, at the browser level, we use JavaScript to help us read the file upload process. At the server level, well, we use PHP, or you could use any other server script scripting software, such as ASP.NET or JSP, whichever one you choose. But either way, for this tutorial, we only doing it at the browser level. When I start my PHP series, I'm going to have where you have it at the server level. Okay, you'll see a slight difference. Okay, so that's it for theory. Let's look at the code. Alright, before we look at the code, we need to do something for the configuration for the server. Now, there are three things you need to configure. You need to configure the upload max file size. That tells the server how big a file you're willing to receive. In this case, I just put it as 1 gig. If I didn't put that at 1 gig, the last file that I just uploaded, which was 732, will fail because it's too big. I'm hearing you guys making a joke. Anyway, clean your minds. Anyway, so we need to change that, and then the next thing we need to change is we need to change memory limit. Again, I did this also to 1 gig. And the last one is post max size. Okay, those are the 3 things you need to change. If you don't change those, larger files will not be able to be uploaded. Okay. Alright, so that's it for that. Let's go to the HTML. Short, sweet, straight to the point. Okay. Here we have our file form over here. Alright. CSS looks the same, except I took the liberty of changing the divs from div1, div2, div3, like my last tutorials, to actual names or descriptive names. So it'll be much helpful. Okay, so let's go to the next one, the JavaScript file. Alright, let's explain the process. When the user clicks the upload button, it fires this function, upload process. Upload process within it has upload file, which passes the div or the ID of the div containing the file to be uploaded, which is upload file. This upload file comes from, if we go back to the HTML, it's the ID of this one. Okay. Alright, so when we pass that, what does upload file do? Well, it creates an HTML HTTP request. Now, if you're running Internet Explorer, it's gonna create its own version, which is the ActiveX object. Now, just to know or to be sure which one to use, I have a function that checks that for you, which is this one. Okay, checks if you're running IE. If you are running IE, it returns an ActiveX object. Otherwise, it returns an XML HTTP request object. Okay, so once it gets that, it assigns it to this variable XHRQ. Alright, now the next variable is form. Form becomes an object from form data. Now, as of today, June 12th, IE does not support it, at least based on where I've been looking at. I think form data is specific to Firefox. It might be a Mozilla proprietary, I don't know, I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, you need this. Okay, basically this creates space in your browser memory to store the file that you're about to upload. Okay, so once it gets there, once it creates that space, you go get the file that you picked and then put that inside the form, which is in memory, and give it a name, upload file. Again, it's an array. Alright, so now the next one we go to is XHRQ, which is an object, the XML HTTP request. Now within it, it has a method called upload. Now the upload, you can attach an event listener to it, which is progress. Okay, again, this is within the XML HTTP request. Now I know this, everybody else understands it except IE, obviously. I think IE's version is attach event, I'm not sure. Okay, so the event listener is progress. So progress calls this function upload progress. Now upload progress simply just trying to calculate how much bits are being sent out. So based on the total and how much is being sent out, you multiply that, you get a decimal, like a 0 point something, then you multiply that by 100 to give you a percentage. Now this next 3 lines just simply activates the progress bar, makes it visible, increases it, and gives you the status of how many percentages uploaded. Okay, now we go back here. The next one is the object itself. We add an event listener. It says when you're loading up, when you're done loading and you receive a response, call this function upload response. What does upload response does? What it does is, well, if the response that you get from the server is 1, then you just change the status to say, yay, upload successful. Then you reset the form, and then you hide the progress bar. Again, this is for user interface. Otherwise, get whatever error that is. Now, the way I have the server set up, I have it sending me 1 for success, 0 for failure. Okay? And the last function is just so I don't have to keep typing document.getElement.id. So I hope you guys can understand the process. Again, remember, everything happens right here. So when you're reading everything here. You're just sending a file. Okay? Alright. The last file is the PHP file. Now remember, I told you guys, when you're here, this form data creates an array that you send to PHP. Now you give it a name of upload file. That's how PHP is able to read that file to get the index. So how did you do that? Remember, over here we gave it the name of upload file. Again, this is different. This upload file is different from this upload file. Okay, just FYI. Alright, maybe I should have used a different name. Alright, so once PHP gets the file, checks it, make sure there are no errors, it creates its own temporary name. So you want to grab that temporary name. Usually the temporary name is the same as the file name itself that was used earlier. So you split that into two so you can grab the extension, whether it's a .jpeg, .avi, .png, doesn't matter. Now, I don't have any security in this tutorial. That's up to you. You know, if you wanted to prevent people in uploading let's say exe files, you can do that. You can implement that over here. Alright, so I generate a random file name of 16 characters, which is this function right here. This function just generates however many characters you want. I can have it generate, I don't know, 32, 168 characters, up to you. And once you do that, you tell PHP, store the new file that just been uploaded permanently with the file name that was generated over here with the same extension. Now, if that works perfectly, send back 1, which is success. Otherwise, send 0, means I wasn't able to write it down to the hard disk. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. These files will be available for you to download in a zip file. They'll be all packaged in a zip file for you guys to download and play with. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to let me know. Again, please subscribe and also give me more ideas. I will try to release more videos consistently, not every 6 months. Okay? Alright. So let's upload the same large file again, and boom. Nice, huh? Come on, keep going. Come on. Come on. There we go. Alright. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, guys.